It was one of the most easiest and tedious jobs all at the same time. What is up, guys? You're tuning in to Nikki MGTV for another military video for all your military video needs. As always, you can hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below if you have questions. But as always, let's go right into the topic, and that is my previous job in the military, which I've kind of tucked away where I don't really talk about it too much on this channel, but I've had several people that have gone into this profession, which they were asking me about it because I've briefly hinted in previous videos about it, where I've never really gone through my whole ideas on how that job was. So if you guys have been a long-term watcher, you've known that I was a pharmacy technician, corpsman specialty. I joined out of A school. I went to pharmacy tech C school, not really understanding how that really affected my career, to be honest, until I was already at pharmacy tech school. I eventually got orders to Naval Medical Center San Diego. That was my first 4-year orders. Then I went on the Mercy for a little bit during that tour, and then I also went to Naval Hospital Rota, Spain, where that was my last tour as a pharmacy tech before I was an IDC. Now, I want to say this is probably one of the worst, best jobs in the military. And people are gonna think this is clickbait, but I'm gonna hear me out, okay? If you're Navy and you're corpsman, there's other branches that have this job as well. But let me explain a little bit. The pros of this job are, if you are looking to get into the medical field, it's gonna help you out tremendously. Obviously, knowing medications, dosing, what medications are used for. If you're looking to be a nurse, doctor, PA, nurse practitioner, any of those things, this job is really gonna help you out. The other thing I wanna say about this job is the benefit. If you're in the military, a lot of times you will get what is called inpatient certified, trained for this job, which means you'll be able to make IV medications and things like that, which means you'll probably make a little bit more money, but still, you're a pharm tech. The other thing about being in the military, from what I've noticed on the Navy side, is you are probably gonna have less time on sea duty or times where you can be deployable. It's obviously not entirely the case, but I'm just telling you, I've met people that didn't really deploy for 10 years easily as a pharmacy technician. So if you want to spend a lot of time at home, pick pharmacy technician, because that's the life I was living, and I finally said I wanted to do something more. You can also consider lab tech, x-ray, things like that. As far as corpsmen go for the Navy side specifically, not too sure about Army and Air Force and what they do, but I want to let you guys know, yeah, for the most part, you're going to be more shore-based. But let's roll into the negatives of this job. Negatives: if you're not deploying, you're not operational, you're probably going to have less chances of earning warfare devices and competing against your peers and stuff like that as you're going to move from E6 to E7. For a lot of people, I found that the reason why I left the community. Also, the task of a pharmacy technician are the very tedious tasks. It's very much needed. You got to be a person that's good with attention to detail if you're going to be a pharmacy technician, because honestly, if you're dealing with narcotics, or if you're doing with IV stuff and learning calculations and everything else, you're going to have to be very meticulous at math and tedious with paying attention to detail. I will say this, I know most people aren't going to think about this, but as the respect of an IDC, what I've gotten versus pharmacy tech, I do enjoy the respect of being an IDC versus a pharm tech, because I can see the night and day difference. If you tell someone you're a pharm tech versus IDC, for some reason you get more respect. It's just how it is. I understand why, but I'm just saying that it's a weird perk that I've noticed from coming as a pharmacy tech to an IDC. Say that as you move up in rank, I was E5, I was looking for leadership roles, and as a technician, typically you're not gonna have that capability. And I'm gonna let you know that's why I got out of it, because I was just waiting to get a leadership role to finally get better evaluations and move up. And I just felt like it was a hindrance. And realistically, like I said, if you're going for the profession of some other medical career, maybe even pharmacist, it would be great. The issue is leading into those roles is a long journey from pharmacy technician to pharmacist. Definitely, there is a program for that. It's a very long, hard road, which is going to take several years unless you already have your degree, or most people end up going into these other less intensive schooling paths such as nursing. That way they can get in there. It is honestly one of the most thankless jobs. As being pharmacy, you're the last stop for someone getting medications and getting their treatment totally done with and leaving out the door. And usually someone's waited for maybe 15-20 minutes for the doctor They got their vitals and stuff done for 15-20 minutes, saw a doctor for 5 minutes, waited for whatever else they needed probably to get out of the clinic. Then they go wait in a pharmacy for God knows how long, depending where you're stationed at, and then they're pissed off at you. And so it was just one of those grind jobs that literally, I was good at that job. I knew the job inside and out, and I didn't mind being an inpatient pharmacy technician. And I wasn't bad at outpatient either. I just could not hold myself to say, I'm going to do this job any longer, because I'd done it for 7 years at that point, and I was like, I need to move out of this. Like, there's got to be some kind of change. So I know a lot of people come in the military thinking all this military type weaponry and doing stuff like that, but realistically, there's a lot of mundane jobs, such as being a pharmacy technician, which honestly, you know, no one understands. Oh, you joined the military to count pills, but yes, there's all kinds of jobs, and I don't want people to feel like, just from my experience, maybe don't go into the field. If you're interested, obviously go for it. There's a huge scope of jobs out there that some can be very military, like gunner's mate, where you're just handling weapons and maintaining them and things like that. Or it could be like a mass communication specialist, where you're taking photos and videos. I want to let you know, like, every job has its place. Obviously, pharmacy technician has its place. I still respect people that do it. I still, if I could have stayed in the military and done that job and actually excelled through the ranks and not felt like I was being hindered, I would have probably stayed in that, and I would have probably enjoyed it. But the issue was, it just wasn't providing for me anymore in regards to monetary, certifications, personal enrichment or growth. You know, it was just everything. Staying in that job was not going to keep me sane, if I could put that in my own words. As always, if you guys do have questions, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.